Let's make a tomato and mozzarella pizza so I can show you some of the things I've created for my cookware line. The first thing I'll do is a very quick and simple tomato sauce. In a saucepan, I want to saute, but not color, 1 onion. It's really nice to work with a knife that actually cuts, and I really like this one. This is my ceramic knife, and it's a beautiful complement to my stainless steel carbon knife. If you use it properly, meaning cutting fruit, vegetables, or nothing with bones, the blade's going to last at least 10 times longer than any other blade. So to cut onions, it's perfect. Let's put in some oil. I really like this non-stick cookware set. It's made of forged aluminum. It's really thick so it won't distort, and the heat distribution is going to be perfect. It is coated with ceramic. It's not Teflon. Better for your health, better for the environment. On top of that, it resists really high heat. You can even put it in the oven. As for any other non-sticking surface, don't use a metal tool. Instead, it's preferable to use a wooden spatula or a whisk or any other tool made out of silicone. We have created one that is perfect if you don't want to scratch the bottom of this pan. Okay, to these onions, I want to add a couple of garlic cloves. You don't have to worry on how you cut the onions or the garlic because everything will go in the blender. Add the garlic. And if you have a bit of red wine on hand, it's gonna be really good. The only thing missing in this tomato sauce are the tomatoes. I'll use a can of 28 ounces, either whole or in pieces. I'll blend it anyway. So, if there's a can, we need a can opener. And a can opener is always a can opener, but this one is different. The feel of it. The knob is really large, so it's easy to turn, and it's very ergonomic, so it fits in your hand. And, most important of everything, it doesn't leave any sharp edge, so nobody will hurt themselves. And there's a small grip on the side of the can opener to help remove the lid. Add the tomatoes. Bring this to a boil, let it simmer gently for 10 minutes, and then I'll just blend it and I'll have a sauce. Making a pizza is not really complicated, and it doesn't call for many ingredients. Today I'll just use my tomato sauce, thin slices of tomatoes, and fresh mozzarella. That's all it needs. I'll slice my tomato. Now for the dough. Okay, you can flip your dough up to the ceiling if you want, but if you want to play it safe, it's always nice to use a rolling pin. Mine is very light. I don't want a very heavy rolling pin. It has a wood handle, so it's very comfortable, and there is a non-stick surface, so it really helps sometimes when the dough is a bit sticky. So don't roll your dough too thick. And remember, it's really important to put your dough on your pizza peel before you add any other ingredients. I tried it and it was not a good idea. Let's add tomato sauce. All my kitchen tools are very efficient in the kitchen, but they're nice enough for service. Not too much sauce, eh? Tomatoes. And the cheese. I will add the fresh basil only when it's out of the oven. Otherwise, it's going to dry out and I won't taste anything. And the last thing, salt and pepper. I really like my pepper mill. It's very functional and it's nice looking. You can see what type of pepper you've put inside. It could be salt. You can control the grinding. This is very nice also. And nothing to screw or unscrew if you want to fill it up. Just straight from the top. It's ready to pop into the oven. I have preheated it to 500 degrees, and if you have a stone pizza, it's even better. Leave it there until the cheese is bubbly and the crust is golden. Ah! That's a pizza. Look at this. When it's bubbling like this, I like to leave it on the counter just for a couple of minutes. Otherwise, the cheese is so soft that it's going to drip everywhere. Meanwhile, because we have to cut it, and everyone needs a pair of scissors in the kitchen, but what if they could be multifunction, like these? I love my scissors because they are good scissors and they're perfect to cut a piece of pizza, like this. And if you flip them on the side, they become a pizza spatula. Perfect to serve your piece of pizza. Look at this. But at the last minute, before you serve it, you want to add some fresh basil if you have some. It adds color and a lot of flavor. Finishing touch. And after you're done with the pizza, it's gonna be very easy to clean these scissors because you can dismantle them and put them into the dishwasher. It's so much fun to cook when you have the proper tools. So today I want to make a chicken curry. And the heart of a good curry are the spices. And you want them as fresh as possible. And the mortar and pestle is perfect for that because you can crush just what you need at the last minute. Of course, you can buy them already ground, but it's not much work to do it yourself. I wanted mine to be not too big. I want to be able to place it anywhere I want on my counter. Other thing, I wanted the pestle to be ergonomic. That's very important. Not too big once more. And because we never know what to do with the leftovers, so the base, which is non-skid material, can turn into a lid and keep your spices fresh. First, I'll crush my cinnamon. Now the cardamom. It's easier to add the spices one at a time. So now the cloves. I'll add a bit of nutmeg, and my small ceramic knife is perfect for that. Black pepper. And finally, cumin and coriander. Okay, I'm done with the spices. I'll use them later on. Another good thing to have in the kitchen, actually two things, a good cutting board and good knives. As a cutting board, I always have two different things, one in wood and one in plastic. My wood cutting board is perfect because you can use it to serve even cheeses on the table. It's nice enough to do that. There's two nice handles on the side so you can move it around easily. And the plastic board is right in it. And one of the sides has a groove to catch the juices. And the other thing are the knives. I like when there's a nice balance between the blade and the handle. You want something that fits your hand, not too heavy, and with a nice balance where actually it's the blade who works, not you. You want it very sharp, so that calls for a very good blade. This is the highest grade of carbon stainless steel blade. You can even put it into your dishwasher. Won't rust, won't stain. Another nice thing about it is that the height between the board and the handle is high enough that you won't hurt your knuckles on the board. For my recipe, I need chicken, 1.5 pounds, that I'll cut into small cubes. Okay, I'll brown the chicken in olive oil. Okay, chicken. When you want to brown meat, you want to leave it there without stirring it. Otherwise, the juice can be released. It is going to boil. Don't want that. Meanwhile, I'll peel, core, and cut into cubes 2 apples. Okay, I'll take a look at the chicken. Yeah, okay. What I like about my wood spatula is that it has a straight edge, so it's very easy to scrape the bottom of my pan. And this pan is a tri-ply stainless steel pan. That's very important. 3 layers of material. 3 layers of something that's gonna become thick enough to have a very uniform heat. I really enjoy cooking with my stainless steel pan because from time to time you want your food to attach to the bottom. This way you can deglaze it and get all these bits of flavor. It's really nice. In my set, I also have a non-stick stainless steel pan. It's coated with ceramic. That means no Teflon. This is better for the environment, and it won't stick at all, and it will resist a very high heat. Another thing that I really enjoy is the handle of this pan or any other handle of my set. We thought of it for a long time. We wanted to make sure that it's long enough to keep your hand away from the heat source, and there's a place to put your thumb. And the famous wooden spatula. We never know exactly where to put it. It's going to drip on your counter. Not anymore. There's a place right here, perfect to put it. So it is going to drip in the pan. This is where we want it. And all the other tools have been designed to fit this handle, like a spoon or anything like that. Okay, next in my pan, I want to add my apples. And the red bell pepper, also cut into cubes. Another nice thing about my wooden board, you can place a plate where the handle is. Just push your vegetables or whatever you've cut and add them to the pan. Give it a stir. For a bit of punch, add 1 jalapeno pepper. Add the pepper to your pan, a couple of garlic cloves, the white part of 4 green onions, and for a lot of flavor, fresh ginger, a big tablespoon. And my trick to peel fresh ginger is very simple. Just scrape it with a spoon. Cooking often calls for grating, whether it's cheese, chocolate, or in this case, ginger. So we have designed a few user-friendly graters, like this one. A handle that fits, a very sharp blade, and a rubber stopper. That's very nice when you don't want to scratch your counter, or if you want to put it on top of a pan or a pot so you feel secure while you grate whatever you want. So this time I need 1 tablespoon of freshly ground ginger. And the heart of this recipe, the garam masala, the spice mix we made earlier. I want also 1 tablespoon of it. And I'll use the rubber base as a lid. And the last thing that goes in my pan, 14 ounces of cocoa milk. Give it a stir. Okay, bring this to a boil and then let it simmer gently for about 10 minutes or until the sauce has thickened. After 10 minutes, the sauce has thickened. The only thing I have to do is rectify the seasoning with a bit of salt and pepper. Now let's taste this dish. Okay. Indians do know how to work with spices. And what's really nice with this dish is that it can be frozen for a later meal or for a lunch. Speaking of which, if you're like me, you don't like to reheat your lunch in one container and then you have to transfer it. It's complicated when you're at the job. So we created all sorts of dishes that could serve all these purposes. Container to reheat something, and even the bowl in which you will eat your soup. Same thing with my dish today. I'll just serve it on basmati rice. And I'll top it off with the green part of the onions. Like this. And to impress your friends at the job, just bring a couple of quarters of lime and splash it at the last minute. And what I like with this lime is that it goes in the dishwasher, in the freezer, you can put it under the broiler, in the microwave. It's very, very simple to use. As for this bowl, the top dome has been designed